The most important investment I ever made. Parenting in the right way. Part 1. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be taking a short break from our usual stock market and success routine. But don't worry, because we are going to discuss a subject that is just us, or if you ask me, a lot more important than business and investments. You could even say that this is the ultimate type of long-term investment. We will talk about parenting. Before we begin, I want to remind you to like and share this video if you enjoy my content. I know that these reminders are annoying, but YouTube's algorithm gets more and more demanding with every update. Additionally, if you want to get the latest information about my investing choices, discuss stocks with me and share your ideas with community or like-minded positive investors, I highly recommend checking our private investing group. Now, I know that parenting is somewhat of a touchy subject today, and I understand where these people are coming from. Raising kids isn't easy, and having random people on the internet criticize your choices can be very frustrating. But here is the thing. Raising your kids right is the single most important thing that you can do in life, especially if you are passionate about business, investing, building wealth, and so on. So, if some of the things that I say come out a bit too blunt, don't take it the wrong way, please. I'm simply sharing my experiences and my point of view here with you. This is my experience. Besides, we aren't going to live forever. No matter how careful we are about our health, diets and routines, eventually we'll all get old and too tired to keep going. What do you think is going to happen to all of that wealth that we built? That's right, it will pass on to our children. So, to me, it seems like raising your children right is the ultimate and most important long-term investment that you can be made. While you are going through this video, please remember that I'm not trying to make people feel bad. My goal isn't to be negative here. Instead, it's the exact opposite. I think that it's important to share these thoughts because I believe that people don't give this subject enough attention. I also know that it's really easy to take children for granted. As a matter of fact, most people fall in this trap and without even realizing it. Most couples end up either having or adopting children, and as a result, most people treat it as just something that everyone does, like having breakfast in the morning or going to work. But in reality, it's something a lot more important, something that I believe we have to approach with a lot of care and respect. Now, if you are a regular here on my channel, we've probably picked up on the fact that I've got a daughter. She's a wonderful young woman in her late 20s that I'm very proud of, who is an expert in marketing and runs her own digital marketing agency. I started teaching her the basic principles of living effectively from a very young age, but I've also done my best to respect her wishes and support her in everything she does. There's a really fine line here because I obviously didn't want to be too overbearing or overprotective, but you also didn't want her to feel like she is all on her own in life. Add to that the fact that we spent quite a few years apart as a result of my decision to move to London in 2000, and we've got ourselves a very interesting story. When I first came to London, I had to leave her with her grandparents back in Bulgaria. I didn't know if I'd have the time or resources to take care of her, and considering my lack of accommodation arrangements, it was just not a good way to raise a young girl here in London by myself. At the time, she was only 7 years old. I'm incredibly grateful for the help of the grandparents, both for taking care of her and for raising her in a very right way. Thanks to their efforts during these crucial years, Dayana grew up to be a wonderful person, a confident, caring, and determined young woman that I'm very proud to call my daughter. If I was to compare my childhood with hers, the key factor in my childhood years was a sense of freedom. I had what it felt like all the time in the world to enjoy my childhood. I would play around outside, hang out with our neighbors, sing songs and study together. Sadly, a lot of the children today don't have that luxury, and this is due to the busier and the more cluttered lifestyle, even now worse during the pandemic, especially if they live in a larger city. There just isn't enough time and space. I believe that it's vital to give children enough freedom to explore their interests and enjoy their younger years. However, like all things in life, there is also too much freedom. Now, I don't want to sound negative, but I see that a lot of parents today would much rather shove a digital toy in the hands of their kid and call it a day. Children need time and attention from their parents. They need non-intrusive, gentle and caring guidance, even if it's just so they have to learn by making a ton of mistakes. Sure, there will be mistakes. Sure, they need to fall down and learn how to get up. But there are a ton of pains that a parent can prevent just by being there, by listening and talking to their child. How I approach parenting. When my daughter was 9 years old, I was living and working in the UK while she was in Bulgaria with her grandparents. My accommodation situation was still unstable and my work and my business schedule was very hectic. So, to protect her from all the stress, she was staying with our relatives, her grandparents. At the time, I was sending over 200 Bulgarian leva, about £100 per month, to get her started with the budgeting. Her grandparents were refusing money from me, so I was sending it over to Dayana instead. She would then use it to help out with the bills and groceries. She also wrote everything down and gave a report on her spending every month. Naturally, this has led to a lot of hilarious situations. Very funny situations. We talk about VAT and why it exists, why a specific bill goes up or down, and so on. This gave us great opportunities to bond while also teaching her valuable life skills. The distance between us was troubling for both of us. I miss her and I thought about her every day. And she also felt lonely without me. She sent me many letters telling me how much she misses me and how she's sad that she has to grow up without a mom. For a time, she actually believed that we'd be apart forever. She had managed to convince herself that she's never going to come to London. Today, all those years later, she's absolutely in love with London. She even hates the idea of spending more than a month away from the UK. I put a lot of effort into teaching her everything I know about budgeting, and let me tell you, it definitely really paid off. Now she's just as good as me, and she's doing really well for herself. When I was 13 years old, I was finally able to bring her to London. Of course, at the time she didn't know English, she didn't speak English, so I gave her 6 months to learn the basic of English. She turned out to be an outstanding student. Her teachers were very pleased with her progress and they always complimented her. After she was sufficiently settled in, I started giving her small tasks when she was 14 years old, related to my now up and running business. At first, it was just as simple of things like distributing leaflets for the company. Then we moved on sending letters and communicating with the clients. After she got comfortable with this task, I started teaching her about marketing. This was still in the early days of my company, and I didn't exactly have a large team at my disposal. So I was doing most of the marketing work all on my own, which was taking a ton of my time. Luckily, Dayana was very interested in the whole thing and she was eager to learn how it all works. As a side note, if you've never looked into marketing yourself, I highly recommend that you do a quick read up. It's actually quite fascinating. I'll leave a couple of interesting videos to get you started in the description down below. She seemed to really enjoy the process and eventually she wanted to take over the entire marketing side of the company. I was already very busy with running everything, so I was delighted to hear that and I agreed. She spent 7 years learning, got a degree, and by the time she was 20, she was ready to open her very own marketing agency. I'm very proud of her. Her agency offers digital marketing, website design, search engine optimization, social media, you name it. Initially, she was mostly focused on UK clients, but recently she opened an office back at home in Plovdiv and quickly found that Bulgarians also enjoy high-quality marketing service. But why I'm telling you all this? In short, because I like helping and I want to help you. What do I mean by that? Well, most of you are young, much younger than me. The majority of my audience is around my daughter's age or younger. I'm old enough to be their mom, and this is why I want to tell you this. First, always look for ways to improve. Always look for ways to learn new things. Never try to save money by passing up on learning opportunities. And I'm talking about courses, presentations, seminars, and so on. I still sign up and attend classes related to the things that I want to be good at. Even if I spend years of my life perfecting that skill, this is one of my personal tricks for success. I've always followed this rule and it's been a massive help in my life. Every year I try to graduate from at least a couple of new courses. And now that everything is accessible online, it's even more comfortable. I don't have to worry about traveling somewhere, being too early, too late, or missing out. I can just replay the course whenever I want and I can keep learning no matter where I am. Right now, I'm attending a marketing course every Tuesday and Wednesday evening. This is a year course. This approach gives me not just skills but also a ton of confidence in my abilities. I know that should something happen with my business due to the lockdowns or other unexpected circumstances, I'll be able to start over again. I'll be able to start a new business and I will rebuild. Self-confidence is essential in the long term. It helps you remain calm and it saves you a ton of headaches. And that is precisely why I always tell people to look for learning opportunities, to always try to improve and build up their wealth, skills and financial stabilities. Three things there hand in hand. And here's how that translates to parenting. If you can get to a place like that, it's really a game changer, both for your financial and mental health. You'll have more time for yourself, for your family and for your children. But what's even better is that you can also help your children get started with the same mentality so they too can be safe, happy and confident in their abilities. Since my daughter got used to this mindset from a young age, she had absolutely no issue starting her own business very early. She became a business leader at the age of 21. My daughter at the age of 27 now. Essentially, I was able to give her a head start in life, not just by offering emotional and financial support, but also by helping her build up her amazing skills. We are also business partners. Of course, my cleaning company is still my primary business, just like how the marketing agency is here. But we have also developed many successful projects together. We research things together, we invest together, and we have also built a number of websites together, e-commerce websites. My advice for today is pretty straightforward. Always be smart with your resources. Learn how to spend wisely, and this is what you need to teach your children. Learn how to spend your time wisely and teach your children. Always look for opportunities to learn more, teach your children to do the same. This is my approach to just about every aspect of life, and I'm delighted that my daughter has adopted a similar way of thinking. But don't get me wrong here. I don't mean to say that we never treat ourselves. Everyone deserves to take a break and have some fun every now and then. Still, we know how to keep our spending in checks. We don't just buy and stockpile things that we don't need. If you end up bored with your purchases down the line, you can always sell them online and use the money for something else. And we've reached the end of the first part of my 2 series of this topic. It ended up being a bit longer than my usual content, but I believe it was worth the effort. Join me next time for part 2 of this series, where I'll give you my top 7 parenting tips plus 1 bonus. And I would like to say a big thank you for being with me. And if you really enjoyed the video and if you learn a little bit, please press the button like. It's really helped me a lot. Subscribe to my channel and as well leave your comment. It really helps my channel grow. So till next time, and see you at part 2.